When your life changes, when you're in the midst of a transition, reinvention, relationship change, environmental change, any type of transition, your days should have to change too in order to thrive through it, flow through it, transition through it. Otherwise, you end up living a new season with old rhythms. Hmm. And we don't want that. That's not faith. That's not freedom. That's not flow. And it's definitely not flourishing. We'll get into it after this. Welcome back to Purpose Over Paycheck with your host, Dr. Lisa. The Midlife Reinvention Movement for women 50 and above, rising in faith, walking in freedom, living in flow, flourishing in every God designed season. Here is where we shift beliefs, we elevate purpose, and of course, we step boldly into our next chapter. What is this? This is purpose. All right, so let's get into it. I've got my notes organized. For a long time, my days were structured. I mean structured. I couldn't survive without the structure. It was structured by all of the external demands, right? Meetings, deadlines, deliverables. The rhythm was imposed, and the rhythm was necessary in order for me to survive in that season, thrive in that season. In this season of life, though, structure still matters. It does matter, but it serves life, not urgency. It serves life, not urgency. I was on a call, in fact, this morning before jumping on to record this about my forthcoming book and some opportunities or whatever. And the person was what I felt like was pressing me for a decision. And I very calmly responded, I don't live in pressure and rush anymore. I operate and function with intention and alignment. If I miss this window, if I miss this opportunity, I'm not concerned. It wasn't for me. Because what this season of midlife has taught me is that really, not that I didn't know it before, what's for me, right? But I'm no longer in the season where I'm working on the next promotion. I'm working on the next advancement. I want that office. I want these responsibilities. I want this pay, right? I'm still generating income, but I'm doing it and running a business, building a business, right? However, I'm building with a different energy, a different agency, because I understand that if I build it with that urgency, with that stress level, the fruits of those seeds, tentacles will flow through my business. And that's not what I want, right? I don't organize my days anymore around productivity. I organize them around presence, my presence. When I'm grounded, right? When I know I can show up as my best, when I know I'm firing off on all cylinders, I am still, never have been, and still not a nighttime person. I am not. Um, my mother used to tease me all the time when I was growing up because she called me her sun child. Now, she's not into science and astrology, never has been or anything like that, but I am a Leo, which is a sun sign, right? And fire, sun, that energy, right? Um, just so happened to be, right? So for me, when the sun goes down, I go down. Period. It's just like a natural thing in my physiology. Sun goes down, I go down. I am still that way. So the best time of the day for me is the first thing in the morning before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Man, I can solve the world's problems. Afterwards, she's going to need a cup of hot water and lemon. I'm going to need some things in order to be productive. Doesn't mean I can't be productive, but I'm going to need some assistance, right? So operating and showing up and organizing my day around presence, that means that my days are have anchors. Anchors, not checklists. There's a difference. Anchors. Anchors like time to listen before I speak. We're not rushing. We're not rushing me. She, no more. Time to listen before I speak. I've even had people say to me, "Well, you're not saying anything. It's nothing for me to say yet. I'm listening." Because when you talk while somebody else is talking, that means you're hearing to respond, not listening. So I don't have anything to say until I know that you are finished and you've shared everything that you need to share. Another anchor for me is movement before momentum. It's no more waiting till I can jump and take these huge leaps. Nope, it's just moving. See, that's where the flow comes in. Mm, just moving, getting things done. Because guess what I've learned? Momentum will come when you flow. Ooh. And I think it's ironic that at this stage of life for us in midlife, when one particular flow has ended, right? Which physiologically, biologically, right, is a sign and an indicator that we're in a different phase of life. It's the end of one childbearing, right, and the beginning of another premenopause, postmenopause, right, life in existence. When that flow ends, we can still be in flow. We still have life in us and nurturing and fertility. It just shows up in a different way. Ooh, flow. Movement before momentum is one of my other anchors. Another anchor is prayer before planning. What's the use of planning and it hasn't been proceeded by precede if it's not preceded, if prayer isn't done first? What's the purpose of planning? We need to talk to God, our creator, who we are co-creating with, as to what does it look like? What's the vision? What's the idea? And then pray, hearing from God, because prayer is a dialogue. This is not a one-way, one-sided conversation. There's a dialogue going on. So once we have prayed, then we can put pen to paper, fingers to keyboard, start doing the things in the planning process. Another anchor is rest without earning it. Mm, 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 mm. Rest without earning it. So let me clean something up. And I think it was episode 7, the one before this. I talked about um the soft life that everyone is talking about today, and soft life in the sense, and I posed made a statement about how can you talk about soft life when you haven't had enough life yet to know what a hard life is to be in a soft life. Please forgive me. I am not diminishing anyone's experience because everybody's life is different. Forgive me for that. Because there are those who are in their 20s, their 30s and 40s who have lived far more life and have had more challenges than I may have experienced in my lifetime. So that a softness you can understand and you can relate to that. I'm specifically talking to women in midlife who have and honoring all of the experiences that they've had over life. That is an opportunity to not, because we've hit the streets hard. The climb up the corporate ladder, not easy. Balancing families and relationships and all of the things in an environment where social media wasn't a thing. When I started working nearly 40 years ago, there was no telework. There was no, that opportunity wasn't available. The childcare, everything was different. The advantages that are present today have supported women behind me, younger women, to have a different experience, right? So I'm speaking to those of us who have had the type of experience that I did. So please forgive me. I didn't mean to diminish your experience. Now, back to the broadcast. Some days are full. I have full days. I have met people on the road in my slow travels that are like, they get bored, they go on to the next place. I have yet to experience boredom while slow traveling. Some days are extremely full, and so full that I take the next day or two and do nothing, happily do nothing, or very little, right? Some days are very spacious, intentionally so, but they all hold intention. Even when doing nothing, that is the intent. Do nothing. And when I'm thinking and sitting and like, oh God, I'm doing nothing. I need to do something. Yes, you do, Lisa. You do need to do something more of what you're doing, which is nothing. Structure without rigidity allows flow to happen. It's the open door to it. It keeps freedom from becoming it keeps freedom from becoming chaotic, right? We don't want chaos. We don't do chaos anymore. And rest from becoming avoidance. Now there is a difference between resting and avoidance. Avoidance is knowing that there's something that needs to get done and not doing it, versus yes, this is something that I would like to get done. It needs to get done, but it doesn't have to get done right this moment. That's rest and not avoidance. What I've learned is this: structure is not the enemy of freedom, it's the container, it's freedom's container. And structure helps freedom become a sustainable lifestyle, right? Thriving. Structure helps freedom move into flourishing, flow and flourishing, especially after 50. Our nervous systems need rhythm, not pressure. For those of you all who are watching, because there's someone in your life who's 50 and above, and you're trying to figure out how to engage with them better, let me give you a hint. Come in close. Can you hear me? Don't pressure them. We do not respond well to pressure. Okay? Exhale on that. And when your days begin to reflect who you're becoming, life stops feeling fragmented. Man, it's a sweet spot. It's that zone of existence. It's like nirvana here on earth, right? It's real. Honor your nervous system. Move out of the pressure zone. Structure is the container for freedom to be sustainable. Let me invite you into this reflection. In the comments, answer this. What anchor helps you feel grounded, or what do you wish you had more of? What anchor helps you to feel grounded, or what do you wish you had more of? It could be quiet, movement, prayer, creativity, rest, whatever it is for you. So one of the anchors for me in grounding that grounds me is that when I have a travel day, the next day I do nothing. The next day is a rest day to get acclimated, to get everything balanced out before I make a move. That's for me. And if this conversation resonates with you or someone you know, please subscribe, because building a life you can stand inside and sustain happens one day at a time, one moment at a time. And before we close, you know what I like to do? Let me bless you, right? May you release the pressure to optimize every hour. May you trust the gentle structure can hold a meaningful life. May your faith guide the rhythm of your days. May your freedom feel supported, not scattered. May your flow be steady enough to sustain you. And may you remember, how you live your days is how you live your life. That felt good. Midlife is not a crisis. It's our invitation to reinvention. We're still here, we're still rising, and we're making this next chapter our best one yet. Faith, freedom, flow, flourishing. This is 50 plus reinvented.